Just as in speaking, where we should mind our tone not to sound too loud or rude, the same thing applies to writing. When we write, we should be cautious about our tone. Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to talk about a new writing aspect, which is tone. In academic writing, tone refers to the writer's attitude towards the subject matter and the audience. It is conveyed through word choice, sentence structure, and the overall style of writing. So just as in speaking, where we should mind our tone not to sound too loud or rude, the same thing applies to writing. When we write, we should be cautious about our tone because it is the thing that determines how the readers are going to interpret the messages we are trying to convey. For instance, a formal and objective tone in an academic essay shows professionalism and seriousness, while an overly casual tone might undermine the writer's credibility. When I was correcting my students' essays, I noticed that one common pitfall that students encounter when trying to establish a confident tone in writing is the use of absolute language. So what is absolute language? It refers to words like never, absolutely, definitely, completely, everyone, etc. Students use such words thinking that they would make them sound confident and show that they understand what they're talking about. But in fact, this can have the opposite effect, making the student or the writer appear overly confident and weakening the argument, as it fails to acknowledge exceptions and alternative perspectives. Now listen to this.
Extravagant claims appear unreasonable to your reader and will likely cause them to question your reasoning. As a result, they may be less inclined to take anything else you say seriously and will be put on high alert, a situation you definitely want to avoid.
To illustrate the previous passage, when readers, or for example, exam correctors, are reading an essay and they suddenly find a student using extravagant claims, saying things like, we can never say, or everyone thinks that, they go like, hold on a second, we've got a philosopher here. Oh, really? Says who? Oh, you think so? So, bottom line is, they wouldn't take the writing seriously. To avoid using extravagant claims and absolute language, Neil Murray suggests that writers should tone down their language. So, لازم تلطفوا وترطبوا تنقصوا في your language. And this can be done through a magical writing strategy called hedging. It is used to make sentences more cautious and less absolute. It softens the argument. Now let's check the following examples to understand.
Ways of toning down your language. Instead of saying only, say tends to be. Will never. The likelihood is that they will not, etc. It is absolutely clear from the data that the data suggests that. Other words and phrases include perhaps, possibly, it would be unrealistic to claim that, etc.
Hedging then can be a legitimate and useful device in academic writing. However, at its worst, it can be used by students to deliberately sound obscure and ambiguous. How can that happen? So sometimes the exam question says defend or argue. بصح هكا كل student تلقاه using such hedging because he or she is not sure which side to commit to, or they are lacking knowledge on a certain issue. So they'd use language like, one might possibly argue that it can be possibly stated or claimed that, and this would unfortunately have the opposite effect again. In conclusion, tone is a crucial element in academic writing. Writers should strive to sound objective, formal and serious. However, this does not mean resorting to extravagant claims to appear confident, nor the overuse of hedging to the point where the writing sounds uncertain, doubtful, or superficial. So, the best way to maintain an appropriate tone is to back up claims with solid evidence, which naturally leads to developing confidence needed to take well-informed stance on issues. This process ultimately helps you find your own voice, a topic we will discuss in the next video. Until then, keep reading and writing. You've got this.